today marks a second chance of sorts for people who haven't signed up for insurance through the Affordable Care Act but are required to do so.
And as we have learned, not being familiar with the law probably is top of the list of why many people haven't done it yet. So with the insurance source, we welcome Guy this morning.
Thank you for having me.
Some good info.
Yes, well, thank you. So, you know, today marks the beginning of the special enrollment period?
That's correct. There is a special enrollment period which begins today, March 15th, and runs through April 30th. And the special enrollment period is for people who didn't understand the law and the requirement to purchase insurance and didn't know they were going to get fined if they didn't do so.
So is it simply an extension, or had you had to start the process first?
It's for people who have no insurance right now, who didn't understand that they were going to get fined on their tax return if they didn't purchase insurance.
Oh, so they've been telling them that for a long time, but it doesn't sink in all the time. And it might be because there are a lot of people who have issues with this law. What are some of the things people don't like about it?
Well, the first thing to understand about the Affordable Care Act is it's a very personal law. People will view it through the prism of how it affects them.
Sure.
And it affects some people very, very positively and others very negatively. Some of the reasons why people didn't like the law were the way that it was passed, some of the confusion in it, and almost everyone agreed that reform was necessary. Some feel that it went too far, while others feel it
wasn't quite enough.
It didn't go far enough.
Right. Well, you know, some people do like it, though, and we do have a list of those reasons as well that you've provided.
Absolutely. The law has saved people's lives. Some people who had health problems couldn't buy health insurance before the law, and now they can.
That pre-existing was a doozy.
That's one of the most popular features of the law, is the elimination of pre-existing conditions.
And they thought it was an improvement over the conditions before ACA took effect, and now there are more affordable plans, right? But how will that affect people who do have insurance, you know, through their employer, regular insurance? Will that affect their rates at all?
There are impacts on the employer marketplace. There are different taxes and fees that are affiliated with the Affordable Care Act. The employer market is less affected, though, than the individual and self-employed market.
Right.
Now, there has been some confusion because people were given some estimates early on. It ended up changing what they ended up having to pay.
Okay, now, before the Affordable Care Act, the most important factor for health insurance was your actual health. Now the Affordable Care Act, the most important factor is how much money you make, your income. So the reasons why the estimates might have changed is the law is set up where you project your future income. And if you project that income wrong, they're going to measure it on the back end, and if the subsidy that they gave you was incorrect, then they're going to take that out on your tax return.
Does it have anything to do with how many people have signed up so far?
It doesn't really have anything to do with how many people have signed up. What it has to do with what you project forward with your income, and it's very difficult for some small business and self-employed people to project their future income.
Right, but I know some changes could be on the way, and I know, you know, we're going to have to check back with you a little bit later on, but the Supreme Court ruling in June, and also the presidential election could change everything. But Guy Fury, you are a fury of great information, and we look forward to having you back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.